What up, crew? In this episode, I'm going to show you how I 3D printed screw brackets to fix a light switch. Let's check it out. Joe P. Kirchman here, and this t-shirt segment is brought to you by the Vintage Digitizer. I feel like I should give this t-shirt to William Osmond. Now, I've 3D printed a lot of big stuff over the years, but one of the most useful designs I have ever made is this little guy. Let me tell you the story of how this transformation came to be. I noticed one day that my light switch plate was loose. So after turning off the power, I took out the screws that hold it on and immediately saw the problem. You see, this plate attaches to this box, which is inside the wall. And these two screws go inside these two very thin pieces of threaded metal. Well, in mine, this threaded metal was stripped out. So I went to the local hardware store and I asked if they had any threaded metal clips that I could snap on to give these screws something to bite into. They said no, and to buy a box, rip up the entire wall and redo everything. Now, I love demolition, but housemate Hugh says I'm already doing too many construction projects as it is. And also I didn't want to spend a lot of time on this. So I took some measurements of this and designed up something in Fusion 360. I'll show you how I did it. So I'm starting by sketching a rectangle 19mm by 8.5mm, and I extrude that up by 12mm. Then I make a smaller rectangle on top of that solid, which will be the cutaway for the metal clip to fit in. I extrude that down to cut away the material to make a slot. Now I want to cut a hole for the screw to fit through. I'm making the diameter just smaller than the screw, which we will later tap threads into. I'm adding a wide fillet to have the screw easily start in the hole. This looks good, so I'm just going to export it as an STL file. I'm now bringing this file into a slicer software where I can control how the 3D printer makes my clip. I'll orientate the design so that there are no overhangs, and so it won't need supports when printed. I'm also bumping up the infill to 45%, which is usually overkill, but I want this small clip to be really strong and have enough grip for when I tap the threads. I'm also putting a raft on this so that the clip can grip better to the print bed. I'm using my Jokerbot Plus, and this video is sped up 5 times so you don't have to sit through 9 minutes of boring printer action. If you're trying to 3D print something, then just be aware that speed is not your friend. I then scrape it off the plate. And this is what I came up with. Now, I used a raft on this print like I did with my tonsil project on the stitches. Check up there for more on that video. So let's just rip that off. Perfect. Nice snap. Now, I also want to tap some threads into this, and it's a lot easier using this awesome Dremel tool to cut a groove in this screw and help carve out some paths in here. Always remember to wear your stylish safety glasses. Okay, let's just keep threading this in. I find it easier to back up the screw once in a while and just slowly work it in by hand rather than with a drill. It's a slower process, but you have more control and it's more accurate. And you see these little shards? That's what we want to get rid of. We're slowly taking all this out of here. So we've basically made our own little tap from this screw. Now I just put this in and what a beautiful sounding snap. And what a pretty good design. And they're all mine, haha. No, I'm just kidding. I put the file online, you can download it and print it, all for the price of free. And then I just screw the plate back on. And perfect, mission accomplished. I want to give a big shout out to Dremel, and if you're interested in buying a 3D printer to make useful stuff, check out Robosavvy.com. I leave you with a quote. Enjoy.